5 minutes ago, I turned on the upload thing. 5 minutes later, I realized I didn't record anything. And I did my hair. I was doing it on camera. And no, it just did not happen. And I'm so ticked now. But anyway, this is the video for Madoka review. I thought Madoka was a great anime, and I highly, highly, highly recommend it. But there is a lot of confusion, like right away. But anyway, so let me give you the basic plot of it. So this alien came to Earth when Earth was created, and that was obviously a while ago. And it made contracts with girls that he could grant them any wish, and in exchange for that, they have to fight witches the rest of their life. Magical girls are born from wishes. Witches are born from curses. Simple. Not really. But, yeah. And then, like, so they focus on the girls of Mami Tomoe, Sayaka Miki, Madoka Kaname, Homura Kemi, and Kyoko Sakura. And they are all precious, precious children. Mind you, this is Puella Magi Madoka Magica / Mahou Shoujo Madoka Magica. So if you thought that this was just like the Puella Magi thing, like I'm going to talk about Kazumi and Oriko and Kigura, no, get off of here. But anyway, so like, warning, spoilers if you've not watched episode 10 yet. So we learned that in the first timeline that was created, we learned that Madoka is a magical girl, and her teammate is Mami, and Homura's not. When Walpurgis Nacht comes, Mami dies, and then Madoka wishes to save the world. Not really, no, she saved a freaking cat. There you go, Brandon, if you're watching this, there's somebody that you can kill. I honestly thought that was a complete idiotic thing to waste your one freaking wish on. Bitch. But, yeah. And then she dies, and then Homer's like, I wish to go back to do this all again. I wish to meet Miss Kaname again. And then she has manipulation of time and a shield that can hold anything. She probably stacks up on dildos in there because she pulled out a whole goddamn arsenal of fucking rocket launchers. Like, she stopped time, went into the mafia house, and stole, like, every single one of them. And it's just like, whoa there, calm down. And, yeah, so her, Madoka, and Mami become magical girls. And then, by the time they get to Walpurgis Nacht, Madoka's dying, and, Mami's dead. Madoka's dying, she's lying there on the ground, and then Madoka said, I don't want a fate worse than a witch. Please kill me. So she takes out a shotgun, but you don't see it, and she, like, shoots either Madoka or the soul gem, but there's a rock blocking the freaking way. Then timer starts again. Creates the third timeline where Sayaka originally becomes a magical girl. And then Sayaka complains, and then Homura's like, Kyubei's tricking us, don't listen to Kyubei. And then everyone's like, bitch, he's granting us wishes. We're too fabulous. And then, yeah, they're all idiots at this point. And then, so, by the time, I don't think and then timeline resets or something, because you never see Walpurgis Nacht end up in that one. And then Kyoko joins in, and then you hear, and then in that timeline, Sayaka becomes a witch. And note, Sayaka became a witch in timeline 4 and the main one. Just saying. But, so after that, all hell broke loose for Mami. She, like, shot Kyoko where her soul gem thing was and killed her, and then tied Homer up, and it was all like, why are we facing a greater fate than this? Why did it have to come down to this? What's the point of doing it? We should just die! And then, Mami kills Homura. I mean, no, Mami, fuck, no. Mommy dies because Madoka shoots her where her soul gem was. And then runs over to Homura and it's like, we can take what Virgo's not done together, can't we? And then, yeah, that shit happened. And then the main timeline starts where Homura just throws herself out of bed, heals her eyes with magic, and takes the freaking ponytails out of her hair, and then is all mysterious for a whole fucking timeline. Well, until we learn about her past. But anyway, starting from episode 1 now, where Kyubei's all like, Madoka, Sayaka, magical girls, and then they wander into a witch's labyrinth, and it's all like, the fuck is this? This is fuckery! This piece of shit! And then, even though Homura was there to save her, which was 100% stupid, Mommy saves her ass instead. It's all like, you should become a magical girl. And then, from that point on, they just go magical girl witch hunting, and then they find Gertrude's labyrinth after a girl committed suicide. And then Mommy's all like, badass. And then they go to Charlotte's labyrinth, and Homura's all like, let me do it. And Mommy's all like, fuck no, and ties her up. And that was a big mistake for that timeline. And then they wander off to fight Charlotte, and there's something peculiar about her because she's really weak for a witch. And then come to find out, the first Charlotte's a decoy, and this thing pops out of its mouth and bites Mommy's head off, and Mommy dies. And then Homura runs to the rescue. And yeah. Then Sayaka becomes a magical girl wishing Kyosuke's arm was fine. And then, like, the cultist scene where Madoka's all like, you shouldn't mix those chemicals! And Hitomi's like, I'm punching future God in the stomach! Yeah, oh my god, I make weird facial expressions. And anyway, yeah, that was just terrible. And, it was great, because, okay, let me tell you something. The witch's name is H.N. Alright? Handle, name, Ellie. So, her actual name is Kirsten. Okay? God, I freaking hate the fandom. Anyway, so, she destroys, HN Ellie, or Kirsten. And then it's all like, I became a magical girl. And then Kyoko shows up all pissed and is all like, my city! Rah! And yeah. Then her and Sayaka have a go at it. And then Sayaka's all like, I'm not human anymore, I'm nothing! And then this witch shows up by the name of Elise Maria. And it's basically the Shadow Witch, and it's really scary because shadows pop up from the ground and they're trying to kill you. And then before that battle, Sayaka's all like, why do I experience this pain? And Kyubei's like, you said it yourself, you're no longer human. The pain is in your head. And that's really what happened. It was scary because she's in that labyrinth just beating at that fucking witch that's already dead and is all like, I can't feel the pain anymore. This is perfect. And then after that, Kyoko's all like, why don't you come back to my place and I'll explain my past. So Kyoko originally wished for her father to be listened to because he preached stuff out of the Bible. And then as people came back to the church, I guess she wasn't very poor anymore, but her father went insane, killed her mom, killed Kyoko's little sister, and killed himself, leaving Kyoko alive. And she was fending for herself. Mind you, this whole argument started by Sayaka throwing an apple on the ground, and Kyoko was like, you don't waste food! But yeah, anyway, and then after that, Sayaka becomes a witch. And they take her on, and then she puts Madoka in a barrier, thinking Madoka's voice can bring her back, like one of those freaking miracles on any other magical girl anime. But it doesn't happen. So Kyoko takes off her ribbon and starts praying, then takes off her soul gem and starts praying, and all of a sudden spears are shooting up from the ground. This gigantic spear just coils around it, and like it's now aiming at Sayaka. Then she takes her own spear, and this red thing is going on, and then she like kisses her soul gem and throws it, and it's not broken yet. And then she blasts hits it, and the whole thing just explodes, and her soul gem's dead, leaving Homura and Madoka. And then, yeah, it was terrible. And the whole reason she did that was she didn't want Sayaka to die alone. But it was really cute. Yuri, lesbian love in that anime, I never thought would happen. But after seeing that moment, I was in love with Kyoko Sakura. Because she's a bitch. She's like the badass of all magical girls. Anyway, last part is Homura decides, I'm gonna take Walpurgis knocked on alone, and she obviously is failing. But it's interesting what she had set up. So what she does, she has a whole bunch of missiles set up, and she keeps shooting them at her, but they're phasing her, so she takes the freaking tanker truck under her magic and just, like, throws it in Walpurgisnacht's face, and Walpurgisnacht is still laughing like, and it's like, whoa, bitch, you crazy. Bitch, you crazy. Fuck is wrong with you? Nah, no, we're not Nicki Minaj referencing over here. And then Walpurgisnacht takes this building and, like, hits Homura with it. And then Homura sets up this missile arsenal, and it all shoots at her, and then she's back, and, like, timed bombs, and they all set off and explode and shit. But Walpurgisnacht isn't over. She gets up, and mind you, this is a giant floating upside-down witch with an axle instead of legs, and it keeps going towards her. And then Madoka shows up as Homura is dying, and it's all like, my wish is to destroy all witches before they're born. From the past, present, and future. So she basically wipes out all the freaking witches and becomes God. And then, yeah. And then there's this whole dramatic scene, like, Homura's all like, Madoka, I'll miss you, please don't do this again. And then Madoka's all like, it's okay, I'll end your suffering. And it turns out that the world is inhabited by Madoka as a witch, and then she destroys it. And so Madoka doesn't exist anymore. She's a figment, like, God. Honestly, God's a figment of everybody's imagination. He doesn't fucking exist. But anyway, yeah. So, yeah. And then Homura becomes a demigod and fights demons for the rest of her life that are born by curses. So they're no longer witches. And that was my Madoka review. I gave it a 10 out of 10. It was my favorite anime. I love everything about it. I'm currently obsessing over it, and it's just great. Love you. Puella Magi fans, marry me!